Hey guys, Andrew, welcome back to the channel. So guys, let's dive into it. Guys, going to talk about words used in disability that, guys, over the past year, my inbox has always been flooded with comments when I've used them. The first one is, and this is, guys, is a hill that I'm willing to die on, is higher functioning. So guys, when we describe the disabled community, there are some words that can be triggering to some people. But guys, we need to remember one key truth. Disability is a spectrum. It is a community, and a community is made up of individuals. So how do we define these individuals? In the modern world, we have male, female, and non-binary. We're asked to define their pronouns. So guys, higher functioning, lower functioning, person with a hidden disability are all things to describe someone with a disability. And we need to remember one key fact. Disability is value neutral. So we do have different models of disability. We've had the psychosocial model for so long as well that people forget we had the medical model that said that disability is something that needs to be cured. And while searching for a cure is a great idea, I see a lot of pushback with Elon Musk's Neuralink. But guys, people are forgetting, for people with spinal cord injuries or people like myself who have chronic nerve pain issues, that could be a game changer in disability as well. So often technology that we see now as mainstream is actually often developed as assistive technology for people with a disability. And so guys, this is the other one I want to go onto is wording is neurodivergent or neurospicy. While I'll use them in my personal life in the day centre, community centre, support workers, I use the sunflower lanyard when I'm out and about. I know you guys, when I've been filming out and about, have seen me use it. But guys, a lot of people don't know what neurodivergent, neurospicy means. Guys, it is better, I've found, in social situations to say that person has a hidden disability or that person's on the spectrum. If you don't want to breach that person's privacy, ask them what they need and just say that that person needs some accommodations. But I prefer, especially online, to be more specific and precise in saying that the person has ADHD, the person has a mental illness, the person is autistic, the person is on the spectrum, the person has behaviours of concern. Guys, as I said, I did a rant in the previous video about how self-diagnosis is dangerous, and guys, that is a hill that I'm willing to die on. I also talked about why, so if you don't understand why, please go and check that video out as well, because I actually had doctors misdiagnose me because I had done my homework on the internet without checking the sources, basically got given the wrong medication that led to a domino effect in my body that led to the nerve damage now as well. So guys, that's the other thing, is self-diagnosis and gatekeeping in the community. There needs to be some gatekeeping, because where do you find normality and disabled? Who gets the help and who doesn't? Who is helping and who isn't? And so guys, this is where I will push back on people who are saying I'm gatekeeping. Yeah, I am. I have gone through about $10,000 in my personal life in specialist fees, in occupational therapists, in mental health professionals, in getting the right diagnosis so I have the right level of care and support for me. And this is the other one. There is a massive, massive difference when you're talking about support workers, carers as well. So people think the term can be used interchangeably. Support workers can provide care, yes, but their main role is to assist you to achieve your goals, to not do it for you. But a caregiver does it for you. A carer does it for you. I know in other parts of the world they're called carers or PAs or even support workers, or even AINs can fulfill a support worker's role. But guys, a support worker's role is to work solely with people with a disability to achieve their goals, whether that be in a community centre, day centre, or supported workplace, or even a normal workplace where they have the accommodations that they need, or in an educational facility. So that might be TAFE, that might be a school, that might even be a university, that might be a private college. So that's the other thing, is people have very low expectations of a person with a disability. I can understand historically where that came from, especially in Australia, where it was only those who had very complex or challenging behavioural needs who got state-based packages. And guys, the problem with these state-based packages was there were a lot of trauma attached to it. Basically, you had no control over who provided the service, who you were placed with in a house, who gave you the support. And unfortunately, there was a lot of trauma, and historically, guys, and I will put a trauma warning on this one and a trigger warning on it, guys, assault by both staff and other clients when they would have mixed gendered households. So guys, now it is very common to have single gender households unless the people are siblings and the parents have left that house to them in their will or bought the house for them to be turned into a cell house as well. So guys, cell house is not the same as a group home. So a group home generally has the structured wake up, breakfast and activities. Guys, a cell house is everyone's on a different timetable. You will have medication at the same time, breakfast at the same time, morning muster at the same time. On the weekends, public holidays, a little bit different as well. So the background noises, they're doing batch cooking up in the kitchen as well. So guys, that's the other one, is that a cell house is supported independent living. Some organisations will focus more on the support side of things, some will focus more on the independence as well. Then the other wording I want to go through, and guys, please be kind here, is I will say mentally ill, because we need to call it what it is. We need to reduce the stigma around mental illness. It is, at the end of the day, an illness, and if I know and have consent from that person of that person's diagnosis, or as I draw a lot from my own experience, I will use the diagnoses that the doctors have given me as well, because there is still a lot of stigma around disability, mental illness and chronic illness, and unfortunately that is fueled by people who are self-diagnosing and doing the stereotypical behaviours, and unfortunately the misuse of emotional support animals. And guys, in Australia, emotional support animals do not have the same rights as service animals. So guys, a psychiatric service animal has the same rights as, say, a guide dog, a mobility dog, a cardiac alert dog, but an emotional support animal does not have the same rights as well. So guys, you will also not see as many emotional support animals or dogs in Australia, because we have the mental health services, and guys, they have to be trained and certified. You can't just stick a vest on them and say they're an emotional support animal as well. I know that there has been some controversies in the location where I live of people with a guide dog being denied access into the pub. But when I researched that story, it was because the person was already intoxicated. So they were quite within their rights to refuse entry to an intoxicated person who they thought would cause trouble. Guys, and that's the other one, is that accommodations are meant to level the playing field. They are not supposed to give us an unfair advantage. They are supposed to give us equality of opportunity, not equity of outcome. Because, guys, if you're giving someone and opening up all of the doors for them that they did not have to challenge themselves, they did not have to work for it, they did not have to experience disappointment, frustration, being let down by people, rejection for the job interview, not getting the YouTube or the podcast or the blog monetized. It's actually setting us up for failure because we aren't allowed to experience failure. And protecting someone from themselves isn't always a great idea. Actions have consequences. So, guys, that is another thing, that people with a disability don't get to have a free pass in my world. As much as they are cognitively able to, I will hold them accountable for their actions, whether that be in my head, talking to a support worker, talking to someone out of the situation as well. Guys, I don't want to be involved in support worker drama, but if someone is yelling at me, verbally abusing me, you bet I will speak up to the agency involved. I do not mean, and I take it as a compliment when I am called difficult and challenging, when I am challenging the rules and regulations that don't seem to marry up with the current legislation and research around disability. And one I found quite recently in my housing facility is actually considered an unapproved restrictive practice, so they're reworking their policies and procedures in this as well. So guys, these are the hills and the wording that, because of my cultural background, I am willing to die on. Guys, if you can like, share, subscribe, guys, and if you want to join the subscriber only newsletter, and if you can, the Patreon, $3 a month, so as much as a 7-Eleven large cup of coffee. That's where I post all of my bloopers, behind the scenes content, and guys, paid members get early access to the videos, and guys, I have permission from the house to do one live stream a month. Not sure whether I'll do it for Patreon only or just on the internet in general. So guys, let me know how you want me and which platform you want me to do that one on. So guys, if you can like, share, subscribe, and the Patreon's always an option, because guys, I would love to turn this into my full-time job.